welcome to our second season of our podcast series, Elevate Your Relationship Fitness, where we spotlight mentors whose lives merge creativity, scholarship, and impactful work in society. Hey, I'm your host, Radhika Sundar, and I'm a registered marriage and family therapist and a clinical supervisor. As a globe trotter, change has been the most constant in my life. In 2016, I moved to Ontario, where I set up my private practice. Throughout these changes, what has kept me grounded has been my fitness routine, which has not changed. Today, I'm excited to introduce Nicole Charles, a fitness coach and owner of Best of Me Fitness. And
Hello.
here, Nicole is going to introduce herself. Hi,
Awesome.
Nicole.
Hi, Radhika, and thank you for that intro. And yes, it's been definitely a great blessing being a part of your fitness journey. So I definitely appreciate that and seeing your growth. So thank you for having me on your podcast. Very honored to be here.
So, Nicole, can you just briefly introduce yourself and share your background on fitness? How did you become interested in especially exercise and mental health? I would say.
Yeah, it's a connection, definitely. So it all started when I did my undergraduate degree in America. And so I was a track athlete. So I was a student athlete. And so it's very stressful when you're at Division I level, very competitive, and you have to balance, being a student and being an athlete, which is very stressful. And so that was definitely like my biggest intro of that connection, being strong mentally, which will help, the physical, they kind of work together. And then I traveled a lot after I finished my bachelor's. And I've always loved fitness. It's just been my love. I've just enjoyed it. And being a coach, a fitness coach, was like the perfect career that I loved, and was very you could move. It was fluid. I could move it wherever I was traveling to. So that was kind of how I kind of fell into the fitness world. And yeah, just, I mean, my own experience, with the mental component kind of just always kept me grounded, being away from home and all the life stressors. Fitness always kind of helped me battle, any depression or, the stress triggers. So my own experience kind of really became my own, big, I guess, evidence that how
Yeah.
effective, fitness can be. And then also the way it helps my clients, navigate through life and, the stresses of life.
That's probably why there's a meaningfulness there. Probably that's what just connected me to you as well, because
Yeah,
like facing change and being able to push through that and
yeah,
being grounded using fitness as your way to be grounded. So
definitely.
so on that note, tell me from your experience, what are the most significant ways exercise can help somebody who is struggling with depression?
What I see it is an outlet, kind of what we kind of touched about a little bit earlier. It's definitely, we know the studies, it does release those feel-good hormones, and that makes you feel better, and so it kind of breaks that, the bad feelings, some of that depression that sinks in. It really does battle and fight that. It gives you more energy, it boosts your mood, and it just goes into other areas of your life, So for me, I definitely see when I work with my clients, they feel, refocused, and they're able to battle it stronger. It's not a, overnight thing. Is consistency is definitely key. I've seen when
Yeah.
when you stay consistent, that's when it's most effective.
So I see research also shows that exercise can sometimes be as effective as medication, you know. So with the clients I work with who I know can just push through, I would usually recommend them, go out, go for a walk, or, I
Definitely.
would even try to push them to be more having that movement as medicine.
Yeah.
So in your view, which types of exercise are most beneficial for people, especially when they are dealing with depression?
Honestly, there isn't just one type. So just like you said, like the walking, it could be yoga, it could be swimming. Anything that's active gets the blood moving, gets your heart rate up a little, is gonna help. It's gonna actually change your brain chemistry. So I say whatever it is, go for it. If it's something that you enjoy, even better. So there isn't just one type of exercise, any kind of activity actually has shown to be very effective. So,
Hmm.
so
Yeah,
even
that
just a
just
walk.
really makes sense,
Yeah.
and that really makes sense because many people, and they just struggle with depression. And especially when we say depression, the most a presentable symptom for them is low energy and lack of motivation.
Yes.
So, like Nicole, can you just share some strategies, especially for people who are struggling with that motivation piece and not being able to, just push through even to start?
Yes, no, definitely. Motivation is tough and can be tough. And there are going to be days where, like you said, you just don't feel like doing it, you know? And so the biggest thing is having someone accountable, right? Someone else. So just say it's a trainer or even your partner,
Mhm.
your child, a friend, anybody that, you trust, have a good connection with. So if you say, okay, tomorrow we're going to go for a walk together, and now you have that commitment to do it. If you just
Mhm.
tell yourself, like, okay, I'm going to do it, and then you don't do it, there's no accountability. So it's easy, can I let it slip? But if someone's like, oh, I'm waiting for you, let's go, you're going to go. The success rate is way higher when you have someone to be accountable to. So that definitely helps the motivation. I know we're going to talk more about, the seasonal changes when it's darker, colder, and it's tough. When you have somebody accountable or you accountable to, it's going to push you to do it. And once you do complete it, you feel amazing. It helps. So usually the beginning is the toughest part just to get started. For sure.
Yeah, I know that feeling,
Yes.
and I can just understand how somebody who is just clinically depressed is also going to feel. I think that's an excellent idea to have accountability, have somebody as a coach like you or their own family members. I
Yeah.
think that's an excellent tip. And now you just mentioned about the seasonal affective part,
Yeah.
because we are slowly creeping into that probably in another week or so,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
are
yeah.
going to be in that zone.
Yeah.
So just tell me, how can exercise help somebody who has, a lot of difficulty, especially during the colder months?
Yeah.
I deal with a lot of clients who have just not only the seasonal affective disorder, but then, people with rheumatoid arthritis or, with fibromyalgia, all of them have such a trouble, just getting out of home and, doing something. They just don't want to step out of home. So,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
what?
So just like you said, to step out of the home. So just like how we're communicating right now, that's the beauty of, our technology, that even as a trainer, I can now offer my services online, which is amazing and beautiful. And I would have never, years ago, never thought we would have that platform. And now we do, which is beautiful because it saves, you don't have to leave your home and it's cold, or, the extra time, to travel there. So that's, the convenience of being able to do a workout at home. And, it doesn't have to be a whole hour. Yes, an hour is great, but 0 minutes versus 20 minutes, what's better. So even a
Mhm.
20-minute workout is going to help you and change, the chemistry and help you out. So that's the beauty of with the seasonal changes that you can do online. It could be, even a short express workout that's still going to give you benefits to help fight those the depression or the mood changes that does come along with those shorter days and less light. So
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you because we are in the post-COVID era, and things have just like changed radically. I think it should be more planning now. How do I set up my workouts to do it from home and follow somebody online? So
yes,
I think we will be also at the end sharing your website and how to reach you. I know you have been a big support, especially for people who would like to do this from home. So
yes, definitely. Yeah, it definitely helps. Definitely, there's less excuses when it's at home. And so
yeah.
yeah, it's a great benefit to being able to do that, and reach more people. So I love that. Love that a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to touch a bit on the final piece, like exercise, especially with stabilizing the mood for people. Um, Especially, if we are just talking about low moods now. I just also wanted to touch base on very anxious moods, especially managing something like anger. So, what are your thoughts? Share some experience with us, how that can help us.
Definitely. With life, we get busy, and a lot of time those emotions kind of just get bottled up. We don't get to release them. And so I also do kickboxing, as you know, and so that's been a great tool to be able to release, some of that emotion, some of that aggression in a safe,
Mm.
a
Yeah.
safe way. And it's amazing how better you feel being able to release it, and you're working out, so you're killing two birds with one stone. And it's a skill, like there's so many advantages with that, and the confidence that you build from being able to learn a new skill. We always hope we never have to use it in the real world, but it's good to know that you know how to do it if you needed to protect yourself, or just certain skills that that can could help you. So yeah, so definitely that has been a tool for releasing emotions and anger. I've had a client that unfortunately had some anger issues and broke a wall, and so that's a lot of damage, and they got to fix the wall. So at least with kickboxing, you can release it safely without hurting yourself. And yeah, it's definitely been a great tool to help that with the anger
That's an awesome piece of advice, because I also want you to talk about how it can help women, especially from communities that are
management.
very oppressed and where they
Yes,
cannot express themselves, and there's a lot of bottled aggression, and which
yes,
they cannot express. So in turn, it just affects their body, in other ways. So,
yes.
and in your practice, do you see a lot of women reaching out to you for kickboxing?
Definitely. And it's been beautiful because, if you look back, it wasn't very open to women, it was more male dominated skill. So when I first learned, like 10 years ago now, wow, that I first was kind of introduced to kickboxing, it was a whole new world. And I loved it because it was such a great type of workout. It does make you feel empowered, which is huge for a lot of my women to feel the empowerment. And yeah, just I love that more women are not being as intimidated, because it can be a little intimidating.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
right? It seems aggressive and, barbaric, but it's really a great skill. It's a lot of mind to muscle connection too. You're learning combinations. You're working on your short-term memory. Like there's so many benefits that we kind of forget about that it really
Mhm,
does help. And as we get older, it really does help our balancing, our coordination, things that help, avoid a lot of injuries and falls and things in the future. So
mhm.
I love using kickboxing as another tool in my practice or in my job. So yeah,
Yeah, what an excellent way to express your negative emotion. I think
exactly.
that's a great form of exercise that you're introducing to people who are, who don't know how to channelize those negative emotions. So
Definitely.
thank you for sharing that.
No
So I
problem.
just wanted to, like conclude by asking you just that one question, for someone who is really struggling, let's say with their mental health, but just feels very hesitant to start exercising, then what would you advise to help them to take as a first step?
Yes, it like we talked about, it can be kind of intimidating, especially it's something that you've never done before. And anxiety can make it difficult to start something new. And we talked briefly about it too, that, being a little uncomfortable is gonna be the most valuable to you, the most growth that you're gonna have from. So a lot of times with my clients is definitely a one-on-one. So I don't recommend classes or large groups because that can be definitely more stressful, more intimidating. So one-on-one, at least we can talk, we can see, what things are triggers. Maybe there's certain elements that you don't like that, I can make sure that you're, staying away from that.
Mhm,
Or, it's just kind of customizing it to what you are comfortable with. So definitely a one-on-one I recommend. And again, even starting slow. So a big thing is not the intensity of the workout, so you're going to start a little easier. It's going to be a bit shorter. That's a really great way to start. And then as you get more comfortable, then progressing with the intensity, with the time, and doing different types of exercise. So that's my biggest tips is, definitely do one-on-one, start small, start a little bit lower intensity, even a short time, like I said, like even 20 minutes, and then slowly progressing as time goes along. So yeah, so definitely it's just that, day one, getting that first foot in the door really helps, and, being accountable again. So talking to someone that you care about, making sure that they're, kind of looking out for you and making sure that you're following up. That really does help keep your
mhm.
progress and keep you consistent. Consistent is key,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
key.
I hear that, and I really, think that that would be a very valuable piece of advice for people, especially who are going through a lot of mood changes.
Yes,
So, so
definitely.
with that, I am just going to wrap up our uh, meeting or session. I so thank you
Awesome.
so much for all these valuable tips,
My
and I'm
pleasure.
sure it'll be a lot of valuable information for those people who are suffering a lot because of the
Yeah.
season changes and also with the mood changes.
Definitely. Got to make it positive. We got to transition, turn that
Yeah.
negative into positive. So, and every little step counts,
Yes.
every little
Yes.
step helps. So, yeah. So,
Yes.
thank you for having me on your podcast. I feel very
Mhm.
honored again. And yeah, it's very, very helpful and informative. So, thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you, and
Um,
see you soon.
All right. Take care.